Okay, so let's start out with your name and where you served and how long.
My name is Mary Johnson. I was a missionary to Mexico for 12 years. We served as work and witness coordinators. For the first 8.5, I did that with my husband, and then he had an accident. And then I stayed on as a volunteer on a volunteer assignment for 4 years. 4 years.
Okay, excellent. Okay, when you went to Mexico, was it a big adjustment from the United States, or was it just it seemed real natural?
When we went to Mexico, we sold everything we had. We had 2 cars and a house full of furniture and 2 kids and no animals, praise God. And basically we left not planning to return for years and years. And we had saved a few things, like say if we were on home assignment or something like that. But we never did see those few things in the 12 years I was there. So adjustment, it was a different, we went from the United States to Costa Rica to language school. And it was an adjustment not having a car, not speaking the language, mainly not speaking. The reason we went to Costa Rica was to learn the language, and we were in brain overload, and that was a huge adjustment. And a very humbling experience, language school is. But going from there to Mexico, things are different, yeah. I can expound on that more. 2 children, 6 years apart, a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old girl, 7-year-old boy, pesky little brother, and a 2-bedroom apartment. That was kind of tense. And my husband was traveling all the time, so I was having to do a lot to handle that. But I drove in Mexico City for some missionaries, especially missionary wives. They weren't driving, and it's aggressive driving. But I always thought it was aggressive in the States. It wasn't a big deal. So, but the thing about knowing a language and it's like being able to express your opinion, being able to make sure that you're not being taken advantage of. That would be like when you take your car into the shop. Those are tricky little adjustments there, but you learn your favorite trademarks in the grocery store and things you want to make, and things you get used to make in the United States, like spaghetti and whatever. You might have to find different things to put it together rather than stuff that you always used to use. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. You had to find different kind of noodles, maybe, or something that's
Or
similar.
sauce, or if you're used to using tomato paste and it doesn't exist, so you're always using tomato puree or whatever. So you just learn to adjust.
Okay, and I was supposed to ask about family life, but you already answered that question.
Family life. Well, ask it again.
Yeah, you just asked what family life was like while you were actually being the missionary.
What are other ramifications for family life? We were, I think, an experiment, because at that point in time, they weren't sending people with children that old. They thought children older could not adapt, and so they typically didn't send people with teenagers, and my daughter was 13. And our church would say, "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" And we'd say, she's always cried anywhere she never wanted to go anywhere we ever went. And once we got there, she always cried when we left. Why would this be any different? And it was exactly what we said. She adjusted. She made friends. My son adjusted. He made friends. They both learned the language. They're both bilingual today. My daughter's a social worker in a children's hospital. My son's a youth pastor, but he's been a Spanish teacher. So my kids made it all right. But adjustment to private schools, adjustment to different curriculum, different philosophies. Lots of, there were adjustments for having a youth group, being a part of one. A lot of that. We made sure, for my son, it was very important to have sports available.
Yeah.
We had that in his school. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what were your mission strategies while you were there? What was your goals, your mission goals?
As working witness coordinators, we didn't have pet projects. We used priority lists that the district advisory boards would set up. And it was real important that they had the input as to where our teams were gonna go. And so they would have, say, a list of, say, 10 projects that they wanted to happen, and then 10 wannabes. And he could send a team to anywhere on those